Michigan fans. Michigan women's hockey is live and on the air. We are live high atop of Yost Ice Arena, where it is the University of Michigan women's hockey team taking on the Davenport University Panthers. And taking a look at what happened yesterday, let's hop into things. Michigan is now 6-2 on the season with a 5-0 win over the Davenport Panthers last night. Taking a look at that game, Michigan scored a goal in the first, a goal in the second, and 3 goals in the third to win 5-0. 48 shots on goal by the Wolverines, 14 by the Panthers. Michigan was 0 for 0 on the power play. Michigan served 2 penalty minutes for 1 infraction. Davenport was, they say 0 for 0 on the penalty as well. Obviously, it'd be 0 for 1. They served 6 minutes on 3 infractions. It started off with 10 at 10:46 in the first as Proctor scored her second goal of the season from Rubin. The only penalty in the first was Anderson went off for cross-checking at 16:17. Then in the second at 17:08, it was Matthews scoring her 9th goal of the season. McCarthy on the assist. DeWeerd went off for tripping at 14:23. Then in the third, it was Proctor scoring her 3rd goal of the season, no assists. Crone scored her 2nd goal of the season. Simmer on the assist on that one. That was so Proctor's goal was at 31 seconds in. Crone's goal was 4:24, and then at 14:17, Anna Thomas scored her 1st goal of her Michigan career. Katie German, fellow Pioneer, Ann Arbor Pioneer alum, got the assist on that one. The penalties, Eliason went off for roughing at 6:59, and Mulligan went off for a cross-check at 10:58. Ponith got the win, saving 14 out of 14 shots. Gaynor got the loss. She she saved 43 out of 48. And now we have our senior celebration happening as the rest of the team is all gathered with their sticks up, creating an arch for the seniors to walk through. And we are going to honor them. And it has been a pleasure to get to broadcast these seniors' career at Michigan. Our first senior is Julia Freeman. Our first senior up is defenseman, assistant captain, and club president, Julia Freeman. She is originally from Irvine, California, and currently lives in Gaylord, Michigan. She will graduate with a Bachelor's of Science as a double major in Spanish and creative writing and is pre-med. She plans on taking some gap years to work in patient care before applying to medical school. Julia Freeman. She comes out right in front of the scorer's bench and with her parents and getting a photo there, which is fantastic. And bless her for going into the medical field, especially with all we're dealing with right now. We need all the amazing people we can in the medical field. Has been absolutely stalwart on defense as well. Our next senior is our captain and vice president who skates it forward, Sam Crone. She is from Melrose, Massachusetts, and will graduate with a Bachelor's of Science in Biology. Following graduation, she is planning on applying to med school. So again, we appreciate that. And she is gathered by a number of folks out there, which is fantastic. 5 other folks as she's getting a picture taken in front of the scorer's box, which is amazing. By the way, all 3 of these seniors are applying to med school, so you gotta bless them and all their wonderful work and brilliance. Our last senior is assistant captain and center, Mary Claire Shorkey. She is from St. Clair, Michigan, and will graduate with a Bachelor's of Science in biopsychology, cognition, and neuroscience, with a minor in Spanish. Following graduation, she plans on working in patient care while applying to medical school. And we want to congratulate the 3 amazing Michigan seniors. It has been such a pleasure to see them play here at the University of Michigan, support their teammates, be amazing players, amazing students, and amazing members of the community. So again, congratulations to Julia Freeman, Sam Crone, and Mary Claire Shorkey. And we know that they will go on to do amazing things, and soon enough will be Dr. Freeman, Dr. Crone, and Dr. Shorkey. As Michigan gathering around their bench, getting their helmets up, everyone skating and getting ready to go. As let's take a look. So we were taking a look at the game yesterday. Again, the scoring for yesterday's game, your goals were Thomas had a goal, Crone had a goal, Matthews had a goal, and 2 goals by Proctor, 1 in the first and 1 in the third. The assists were to Rubin, to Simmer, to McCarthy, as well as to Katie German. So taking a look and flipping the page, your top scorers at this point for the Wolverines. Megan Matthews resides in first place. She has 13 points, 9 goals, and 4 assists. Number 2 is Evans. Mariah Evans has 6 goals and 5 assists for 11 points. Number 3 is Katie German. She has 4 goals and 4 assists for 8 points. Michaela Rubin is at the number 4 spot. She has 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points, tied there with Jessica Simmer, who has 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points. Erin Proctor, who had a 2-point game yesterday, she now has 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points. As well as Anna Thomas, who got her first goal yesterday. She has 1 goal and 5 assists for 6 points. So very balanced scoring across the top 7. And again, that doesn't even show. There's a number of players who have 4 points right behind them. Shorkey, Crone, Gargiulo, and Simmer all sitting right there with 4 points. And that doesn't mention, I always feel bad mentioning all the points, which are important, right? You can't win a game without points. But there's not a lot of stats we have here to honor the defensive players. But the defense, the goaltending has been just absolutely amazing with this team, especially yesterday. Taking a look at the goaltending, Poneth has played 12 games. She has 5 wins, 5 losses, 2 ties, 25 goals against for a 2.09 goals against average. 520 saves for just an outstanding 954 save percentage. Goldman has hopped between the pipes and played 3 games, helping Michigan out. And she has 2 wins, 1 loss, 13 goals against for a 4.33 goals against average and a 8.51 save percentage, which is pretty darn fantastic when you consider she was a field hockey goalie who was willing to strap it up and hop between the pipes for the Wolverines. Taking a look at Davenport, they are 2-11-1 on the season. Their wins came in the first game of the season versus Roosevelt and a game versus Rhode Island back on October 29th. Their lone tie came versus Aquinas back on December 3rd. So they have had a bit of a rough season, but again, they have only 12 players on their roster, so they all end up playing a lot. Templeton is in between the pipes this evening. Yesterday, Templeton was skating out, and it was Gaynor between the pipes, and Templeton's parents, who were sitting right in front of us, said it was the first time she had skated out since she was 15, and she made a couple valiant attempts and had some chances in the crease. Poneth just obviously always amazing. Taking a look as we flip past. So your leading point getters stay the same for Davenport. Who do you need to worry about? Well, Mulligan is the top point leader for Davenport. She has 9 goals and 3 assists for 12 points. That's number 19 on your roster. Letts is number 2. She has 4 goals and 3 assists for 7 points. She's number 10. Jersey number 15 is Anderson. She's number 3. She has 3 goals and 2 assists for 5 points. And the number of folks gathered all up with 4 points at the 4th place. That's Kutcher, who has 3 goals and 1 assist for 4 points. Pippin, who has 3 goals and 1 assist for 4 points. Butka, who has 1 goal and 3 assists for 4 points. And Gaynor, who has 1 goal and 3 assists for 4 points. Taking a look at the goaltending, again, Templeton has played the majority of the games, 9 games played, 2 wins, 6 losses, 46 goals against for a 5.13 goals against average, 353 saves for an 8.85 save percentage. Gaynor has played 3 games now and has a goals against average of 8.67 and a save percentage of 8.23. Taking a look at the standings in the ACHA, Adrian College is up at the top. As of yesterday, they have 25 games played. They have 19 wins, 4 losses, 2 overtime losses for a total of 40 points. Minuit State University is second. They have 38 points, that on 19 wins, 4 losses, but no overtime ties. Indiana Tech is number 3. They have 37 points, that on 18 wins, 6 losses, and 1 tie. Liberty is at number 4. They played 15 games. They have 15 wins for 30 points. Lindenwood is at the number 5 spot. They have 18 games played, 13 wins, 4 losses, 1 overtime loss for 27 points. Arizona State University right behind them at the number 6 spot. They have 19 games played, 13 wins, 6 losses. Midland University checking in at number 7. They've played 19 games, 12 wins, 5 losses, 1 overtime loss, and 1 tie for 26 points. University of Massachusetts Amherst has 24 points, that on 12 wins, 4 losses. Grand Valley State University checking in at number 9. They have 22 points on 9 wins, 6 losses, 2 overtime losses, and 2 ties. Marysville at number 10. They have 21 points, that on 10 wins, 13 losses, and 1 tie. Miami University has 20 points on 9 wins, 7 losses, 1 overtime loss, 1 tie. University of Michigan Dearborn at number 12. They have 18 points, tied with Grand Canyon with 18 points. That on 8 wins, 6 losses, 2 ties. Grand Canyon with 18 points on 7 wins, 9 losses, 1 overtime loss, and 3 ties. Michigan State has 16 points on 8 wins, 5 losses. Also with 16 points is University of Colorado, that with 7 wins, 11 losses, 2 ties. Aquinas checks in at number 16, that on 20 games played, 6 wins, 11 losses, 1 overtime loss, 2 ties, 15 points there. McKendree and the University of Michigan both tied at 14 points. Now, McKendree's only played 12 games. They have 7 wins, 5 losses. University of Michigan has played 14 games, now 15. And they they would hop right in front of McKendree based on last night's win. But that would be 7-6 and 2. Now, again, some of these teams that Michigan has beaten have played more games, which is why they're up higher. So you look at Grand Valley. Michigan's played 14 games. Grand Valley's played 19, things of that nature. So just something to keep in mind as you take a look. Michigan's followed by Rhode Island at number 19, University of Wisconsin at number 20, Colorado State at 21, and University of Minnesota at 22. Let's play a few messages, or let's play a little bit of the Michigan Marching Band. As the clock counting down, we have 20 minutes and counting up on the clock. So we have a little bit of time before the puck drops. So let us hear from the best band in the land, the Michigan Marching Band. So we're high up top of Yost Ice Arena in the press box, looking down on Red Berenson Rink as they're resurfacing the ice now. We're counting down 8 minutes, 41 seconds before puck drop, as we had a wonderful senior celebration before before everyone got warmed up. But we will get going shortly. We'll play a little bit more music here and be right back with your starting lineups and your opening puck drop. You're watching Michigan Women's Hockey, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. As they play the victors here, they've just resurfaced the ice. The Michigan coaching staff over on the bench. Head coach Jenna Trebbiano, assistant coach Ned Glisson, assistant coach Carrie Inman, and goaltending coach Terry Lukowski. Well, I don't see Terry there yet, but I'm sure he will be on the bench shortly. On the other side for Davenport, it is Madison Smitty as the head coach. Anna Smitty is the assistant coach. Recruiting coach is Phil Sweeney, and strength and conditioning coach is Jim Davis. As Michigan poised to come out from the locker room to our right, Davenport gathered around to come out from the locker room to the left. As waiting for the officials to come up onto the ice as they play the victors here. Always wonderful. And it's always kind of nice. I don't get into Yost Ice Arena during the daylight hours sometimes. You forget sometimes at night all the beautiful, wonderful natural light that feeds through these windows. And it is a beautiful old barn and always a joy to be in here, especially with the Michigan women's hockey team, as it's always fantastic as they get to play in this arena. And it doesn't always happen. The officials now out as they'll get those nets put back on their moorings, and we'll have the team skate out. Then we'll have our starting lineups and the national anthem, and we will get going shortly here as linesman gets the net over on the left-hand side. And the official grab the other net in a moment. Freeman looking to lead them out, and now Sam Crone comes out first. Freeman giving everyone fist bumps as they hit the ice, and Michigan comes out to our right, skating in their home white jerseys with the numbers in dark blue on the back and on the sleeves. They have the block M on the front, the maize and blue trim across the sleeves and across the middle, the dark blue pants, and the helmets with the block M on them. Davenport in their road dark black jerseys with the numbers in white on the back and on the sleeves. Across the front diagonally is Davenport. They have white and red trim on the sleeves and on the middle, as well as on their socks. They have white helmets, do the Davenport Panthers. As now getting ready for the starting lineups.
The University of Michigan women's hockey program welcomes our visitors from Davenport University. The starting lineups first for Davenport.
Now starting lineups for Davenport.
Number 22, Morgan
Pippin skates out starting for the Panthers.
High forward number 21, Jessica Plowman.
Plowman comes out for the Panthers.
Center for Davenport, number 15, Avery Anderson.
Anderson coming out starting for the Panthers.
On defense, number 10, Adriana Letts.
At the blue line, it's Letts, the first defender.
And number 20, Sydney Butka.
And Buka, the other defender who skates out to the blue line. And it is Templeton between the pipes who skates out. That means Gaynor is going to be playing out. Now for your Wolverines starting lineup. Simmer starting it forward for Michigan.
Also high forward, team captain, senior number 13,
Senior Crone comes out. Starting forward for today.
Skating at center for the Beige and Blue, assistant captain and senior, number 12, Mary Claire Shorkey.
Assistant captain, senior and forward, Mary Claire Shorkey.
On the blue line, number 20, Annabelle Levinson.
Levinson skating defense for Michigan.
Also on defense, number 7, assistant captain
And assistant captain and senior on the blue line, Freeman skates out. And between the pipes, it's Poneth. As the rest of the Wolverines skate to the blue line. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, the playing of the national anthem. As we're getting ready to go for the final home game of the season for the Michigan Wolverines, they will be on the road next week at Penn State. We will be there with them. They're at Pagula Ice Arena, 7:30 p.m. on Friday evening, 5:20 p.m. on Saturday. So you can watch a lot of Michigan hockey next weekend and still watch that big game in football that's happening on Sunday. We hope to make our trip back from State College to get to see that game. Davenport gathered around Templeton to the right. Michigan getting their gear back on, gathering and getting last-minute instructions from the coaching staff. As we're getting ready, 15 minutes up on the clock. That should be changed to 20 pretty quickly. Give it a moment. As they're getting ready. As they're underway, still have 15 minutes up on the clock, so maybe it's shorter periods. That comes in along the far boards, fired back in by Botka into the near corner. Levinson with it. Levinson moves it around. That chip by Simmer, trying to hold it in into the Michigan zone is Davenport. That's sent ahead. Here comes Crone. Crone has that poked away in along the near boards, fired back by Plowman into the Michigan zone. That's going to be stopped on the far circle, moved in along the near boards. Levinson trying to pick it up and fire it forward. And it comes all the way back into the Davenport end. Plowman picks it up and along the end boards, ricochets it off the near boards, trying to get ahead to Letts. That slips into the neutral zone. Gathered in there. Here comes McCarthy, who tries to feed it in deep. And puck into the near corner. Picked up by Pippin. Pippin rims it all the way around the boards. Chipped and held in by forehand. Now coming. Drops back into the neutral zone is Gargiulo. Gargiulo comes in along the near boards. Gains the zone. Gargiulo on the near circle. Gargiulo feeds it, trying to get it over to Goldman on the far side. That puck just out of her reach. Back in along the end boards. Plowman has it back behind her own goal. Plowman switches directions, chips it against the far boards. As Buka has it outside the far circle. That's stolen away. Trying to get to it. Eliason held in by Gargiulo, right at the blue line. Now that's fired all the way back into the neutral zone. Gathered in by Katie German at her own blue line. She's trying to avoid pressure by Letts. That moved over. McCarthy has it in the slot of her own zone. Feeds it in along the near boards, trying to get to Evans. Here, Proctor tips that over to Evans. Gathered in as here comes Katie German. High slot, shot, saved by Templeton. 13:23 left to go. Here in the first, 0-0 is our score. Now they move it. Now it's 18-23, so that works. Excellent. Face-off in the far face-off circle is Rubin taking the face-off versus Mulligan. That comes right back behind the Panthers' goal. Rubin has it on the near, into the near corner, gathering it in. Proctor taking it top of the near circle. Drops it back to forehand at the near point. Shot from there. Tip. That comes off into the near corner. Rubin puts it right back behind the net. Coming over, Proctor gets it back to Rubin outside the near circle. Forehand comes over, trying to pinch. That high in the air, knocked down on that near circle. Now Rubin trying to hold it in, that puck just out of her reach, slips back into the neutral zone. Forehand in along the near boards at her own blue line. It tipped away. Spinning with it, Mulligan puts it into the near corner of the Michigan zone. Evans picks it up there, goes back behind her own goal, trying to avoid pressure by Gaynor. And Evans coming down the far boards. That chipped right back into the near corner of the Michigan zone. Gathered in, forehand feeds it ahead through the neutral zone. That slips back into the Panther end, and that will be icing as it goes across the goal line. That'll head back into the Michigan end. 17:28 left to go here in the first. 0-0 is our score. Face-off is going to be to Ponit's right in the near face-off circle. Shorkey in to take the face-off, as Remelius is going to be to her left. Izzy German out there as well as Anna Thomas. And forehand. That puck brought. Here comes a breakaway. Thomas has it. Thomas over the blue line, gains his own. Thomas has that poke checked away as the puck into the far corner. Thomas trying to feed it and pulled back by Anderson, back behind her own goal. She comes in along the near boards. Banks it off the near boards. Letts goes into the near corner of her own zone. Goes back behind her own goal, trying to switch directions. Ramelli is trying to poke that away. The puck outside the near circle. Shorkey trying to peel it off the boards. Still battling back into the near corner. That puck levered out. Here comes Thomas on the near circle, poked away from her. Remelius backhands it back to Freeman at the near point. Freeman has that poked away. Anderson trying to get it out of the zone. Shorkey trying to hold it in. Here comes Letts over center ice. Letts feeds it over to Butka in along the far boards. Bryce picks it up, goes back behind the Michigan goal. Bryce underneath the near circle, feeds it ahead to Remelius, who touch passes it, trying to get to Shorkey, just out of her reach. That puck picked up by Shorkey at her own blue line. She feeds that ahead. Intercepted by Pippin in her own zone. Shorkey keeps it in before she goes out for a line change. That puck ricochets off the near boards into the Michigan end. Bryce starts the attack going the other way over her own blue line. Bryce coming down the far boards, feeds it deep into the Davenport zone. Into the near corner it goes. Plowman has it there, chipping it into the far corner for Pippin. Pippin rims it around the boards. Michigan holds it in at the far point. That was Levinson. Pulled back by Pippin. Centering attempt. That grab is trying to feed it in. Simmers, saved by Templeton. Battle for it on the far side of the net. Comes all the way outside of the far circle. Coming ahead with it, here comes Mulligan over the neutral zone. Mulligan, with McCarthy in front of her, comes into the near circle. Shot! Punneth with a save. 15:45 left to go here in the first. It's Michigan nothing, Davenport nothing, live from Yost Ice Arena. Face-off is going to be DePontis right in the near face-off circle. Gargiulo in to take the face-off. Mulligan comes back out. Two number 19s in the face-off circle as that puck and along the near boards as DeWeert tries to get it. That pulled away. Katie German banks it all the way back, chasing it into the near corner, but that will be icing. So it was let go just from the other side of center ice. They'll come back into the Michigan end of things. Scoreless so far here on a Senior Day celebration for the Wolverines' final home game. We do want to congratulate Julia Freeman, Sam Crone, and Mary Claire Shorkey, the seniors, for this Michigan team. Face off in the near face-off circle. Gargiulo wins it back behind the net, rimmed all the way down the boards. That's sent back. That'll be icing again as it was rimmed from right back behind the net. No one got a chance to touch it, so it'll come right back in. As again, Mulligan and Gargiulo to face off. Katie German to the right of the face-off circle. Eliason to the left. As that one back into the neutral zone. Picked up by Plowman. Plowman has it. Sends it ahead. That chip by Letts in along the far boards. Gainer feeds it back to Letts. Letts gains the Michigan zone outside the far circle. Izzy German chips that away. Backhanded in along the near boards. Now picked up. Top of the near circle by Schroeder. Schroeder rims it right back behind the Michigan goal. Izzy German picks it up into the far corner. Gets it back in along the near boards to Katie German. That fed ahead. There's a shot from the near circle. Save by Poneth. As that was Mulligan holding it in at the blue line, firing into the far corner. Izzy German feeds it ahead. Goldman has it in along the far boards. She banks it off the near boards of the neutral zone. Schroeder picks it up back in her own end. Schroeder feeds it ahead, and that puck lifts it into the Michigan zone. Izzy German picks it up on the near circle. Izzy German feeds it into the neutral zone. That chip by Rubin. Now Proctor picks it up, top of the near circle. Proctor comes in with the shot. Saved by Templeton. That puck outside the far circle. Evans trying to send it back. Held in by Proctor. Proctor feeding it, trying to get Rubin on the edge of the far circle. And just out of her reach. And puck, Rubin has it. Shot from the slot, and Evans puts it in. Michigan scores. As Templeton got the first shot, but the rebound came to Evans, and Evans fired it in at 14-12. It's a Michigan goal. Evans, Rubin should get the assist. And that was at 14-12. Michigan goes up 1-0 here in the first. Face off at center ice. Shorkey in to take the face off. Romelius to her right. Thomas to her left. That comes back and along the far boards, picked up by Plowman there. Plowman, long cross ice pass. Pippin has it in along the near board. Sends ahead to Gainer. And gathered in by forehand at her own blue line. Feeding it ahead. Bukka has it. Now knocked away by Romelius. Thomas brings it in. Thomas on the near circle with the knuckleball shot. That's saved into the near corner. Brought back. Forehand holding it in. And gathered by Shorkey in the high slot. She feeds it into the far corner for Romelius. Romelius on that far circle. Has it poked away. Gathering it. Anna Thomas trying to fire it back. Coming the other direction. Here comes Bukka. Bukka over center ice. Bukka fires it deep into the Michigan zone. And rims into the near corner. Forehand battling. Trying to peel it away from Gainer. Now Bukka has it into the near corner. Shot that deflected by the Michigan defense. Held in by Pippin. That shot went off of Romelius. Trying to grab it. There's a shot from the slot. knocked away, forehand, banks it off the near boards. Remelius gets it into the neutral zone. Pulled back by Plowman, right at center ice along the near boards. Plowman looking for a place to go with it. Plowman heads over center ice, gains the zone at the near point. Plowman centering attempt, that pulled away by Crone, coming down the far boards. Crone over to Simmer. Here comes Simmer over center ice. Gains the zone at the near point. Simmer feeds it into the near corner, chasing it. Plowman trying to chip that away. Simmer trying to grab it off the end boards. That rimmed ahead to Letts. Held in by Levinson at the near point. And shot deflected. There's a shot from the far point that wouldn't settle down for Matthews. Matthews trying to peel it off of the boards. Now Matthews spins, or Crone spins with it. Crone into the near corner. Centering attempt that got knocked down by the defense. Matthews fires it right through the crease. And brought back by Simmer, who puts it right back behind the goal. Matthews underneath the far circle. Matthews using her body to protect the puck. Matthews drop pass. That over to Freeman. Comes back behind. Center attempt, and that fired. Oh, good shot. But Templeton getting the save. Letts has it into the near corner. Freeman trying to pull it away from her. Now Simmer gets it. Simmer fires it. Oh, that just off a Crone's stick. Heading the other direction. Here comes Mulligan over her own blue line. Mulligan gets it to Letts. Letts has it knocked away by Levinson right at the near point in the Michigan zone. Coming away with it. Mulligan battling a pair of Wolverines. Simmer trying to get it out. That comes back. Picked up by Levinson. Levinson goes over her own blue line. Coming down the far boards. Levinson over center ice. Fires it deep as she goes for a line change. Templeton stops it. Now that picked up in the near corner by Schroeder. Schroeder backhands it ahead. Bouncing puck through the neutral zone. Gathered in by Katie German coming down the far boards. Katie German gains the zone. Knocks it off the far boards. Katie German goes back behind the goal. Comes over on the near circle. Katie German into the slot. Shot by Gargiulo. Saved by Templeton. That backhanded to the blue line. Michigan has to regroup in the neutral zone. As that off of the near boards. McCarthy trying to fire it in. That knocked away by Butka. Gathered by Gargiulo, top of the near circle of her own zone. She spins, trying to avoid pressure by Butka. Gargiulo coming down the far boards. Gargiulo over center ice. Gargiulo gains the zone, top of the far circle. Gargiulo spins with it, puts it back to the near point. There's Katie German with the blast that just goes wide. Outside the near circle, held in by McCarthy as she fires it onto the far circle, or onto the near circle, holding it in. Eliason trying to peel it away, as well as Gargiulo. Bouncing puck right at the high slot, spinning, held in, and swept back deep into the far corner. Schroeder has it. That deflected in along the near boards. Proctor deflects it into the near corner. As Butka trying to get it over to Pippin outside the near circle. Rubin trying to separate her from the puck. That comes all the way over, rimmed around, back to the far point, trying to hold it in his forehand. As that's gathered in. Butka trying to get it out of the zone. Again, forehand making it difficult. Gathered by Schroeder. She comes over on blue line. Backhands it into the neutral zone, but brought right back in by Proctor. Proctor outside the near circle. Feeding it into the slot. Here's Rubin with a shot that just goes wide. Looking for a deflection by Evans out in front. She couldn't quite get her stick on it. Forehand sends it into the far corner. And lifted by Butka. Beforehand has it on the far circle. Puts it into the slot. And it goes right through the crease into the near corner. Proctor with it on the near circle. Proctor spinning, gets it back to Izzy German in the high slot. Izzy German moves it Devins, top of the near circle. There's a blast, trying to get a Proctor deflection out in front. That puck back to the far point. Forehand with a shot there. That went off of a defender's skate. That was Schroeder. Deflected back behind the goal into the near corner. Gathered. Shorkey spinning with it. Goes back behind the goal. Shorkey into the far corner. Rims it out to Remelius outside the far circle. Remelius sends it back to the far point for forehand. Forehand. Top of the far circle. Shot that went high into the near corner. Remelius with it. Remelius feeding it into the neutral zone. Thomas trying to get to it. That poked away, but Remelius grabs it. Shot. Rising shot just a little high. Thomas picks it up back behind the goal. Fires it out in front. Trying to get to it. That deflected into the far corner. And bouncing puck held in by forehand. Remelius tips it to Shorkey. Shorkey moves it into the near point as held in by Izzy German. Izzy German comes to the high slot. Now Izzy German moves down to the near circle for Thomas. Poked away from her. Izzy German trying to protect that puck. Fires it towards the goal. Knocked down by Pippin as she fires it all the way back into the neutral zone. And it's back into the Michigan end. That will be icing and head back into the Panthers zone. 8:39 left to go here in the first period. 1-0, Michigan with the lead over Davenport. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle. That's going to be to Templeton's left. Now they'll move it to the far face-off circle, as that's going to be Matthews in versus Anderson in the face-off circle. Comes back, top of the far circle. Freeman tips it into the far corner. Shot from there by Bryce into the slot. As Anderson trying to sweep it away in along the far board. Still bouncing puck. Skitters in along the near boards. Chasing it, that gathered in back to the near point. Freeman sends it into the near corner. Simmer has it there, over to Crone on the near circle. Crone with the shot, saved by Templeton. The puck loose in the slot, battling for it. Crone feeds it over to Matthews with the shot. That got deflected by a defender. The puck in front, gathering around, knocking away at it, and they score! Michigan goes up 2-0. We'll get the official scoring, as I believe that was Matthews. But there was a number of Michigan players trying to whack away at it. Templeton did an excellent job to make the first stop, but couldn't cover up the puck. And Michigan able to put it in. We'll get the official scoring in just one moment. 8:07 left to go. Michigan up 2-0. Face-off right at center ice. It's excellent goaltending by Templeton, but just too much attack by Michigan. That puck in along the far boards. Plowman over along the near boards to Butka. Butka loses it, gets it back outside the near circle. Trying to backhand it, stolen away by Eliasson. Eliasson through the slot. Eliasson backhanded shot. Save as that's through the slot, gathered in by Letts. Letts goes over her own blue line. Letts comes over the center ice, poked away. Great job by Bryce. Michigan trying to start the attack the other way. That knocked down by Butka. Here comes Goldman in the slot. Goldman has that knocked away. The puck top of the far circle. Bryce has it there. Bryce into the far corner. That fired. Now Butka trying to get it out of the zone. Rolled ahead as here comes DeWeerd. DeWeerd has it pulled away. Simmer on the goal. Simmer with the goal. Crone and Matthews on the assist on the second Michigan goal. The puck into the Michigan zone and along the end boards. That gathered in by Bryce as she goes from the far side to the near side. Now switches directions, trying to avoid some pressure by Mulligan. That held in is Schroeder with a shot. Good blocker save by Poneth. Gathered in along the near boards. Here comes Rubin feeding ahead. Rubin down the near boards, gains the zone, top of the near circle. Rubin feeds it back to Evans. Evans with a shot. Templeton with a save. Oh, Proctor right there looking for a rebound. Templeton able to get her glove on it. 6:47 left to go here in the first period. 2-0. Michigan with the lead. Face-off in the near face-off circle. Rubin in to take the face-off versus Anderson. That comes outside the near circle. Proctor trying to get to it. Rubin pulls it away in along the end boards. Rubin underneath the near circle. Rubin sires it back into the near corner for Proctor. Proctor on the near circle, feeds it into the high slot. McCarthy into the near corner, into the near point. That pulled away. Gaynor sends it all the way back to the Michigan blue line. Levinson starts the attack the other direction, trying to get it to Evans as Schroeder tips it away from her. That puck on the far circle. Anderson starts the Panther rush. Anderson over on blue line, over center ice. Anderson gains his own. Anderson top of the far circle. Shot saved by Proctor, but it's loose. Trying to get it and whistled down. As Proctor thought she had it, I think she had it between her pads. She goes down into a seated position trying to keep it out of the goal. Panthers trying to take advantage of a weird puck bounce, but Proctor still able to get it out or keep it out of the goal. 6:07 left to go here in the first. 2-0, Michigan with the lead. Shorkey in to take the face-off in the far face-off circle versus Anderson. That puck won as Izzy German fires it back behind to Katie German underneath the near circle. Over to Remelius, who tips it, that into the slot. Fed in along the far boards. Izzy German over on blue line. Coming down the far boards of the neutral zone. Izzy German gains his own, top of the far circle. Her shot deflects in along the end boards. That into the far corner, gathered there by Butka. Butka sends it ahead. And into the neutral zone. Katie German collects it and starts the Michigan rush the other direction. She fades back to her own blue line. Sends it ahead to Thomas. Thomas gains the zone at the near point. Ricochets it off the near wall as it skitters into the near far corner. And back over trying to get to Shorkey. Deflects right back behind Templeton. Anderson fires it the other direction. Thomas picks it up outside the near circle. There's a one-timer by Izzy German, knocked down and heading the other direction as the puck slips back into the neutral zone. Fired deep by Katie German, in along the end boards. Plowman picks it up back behind her own goal. And chipped as Plowman trying to get out of the zone. Matthews making it difficult. Now lifted, held in by Simmer. Simmer feeds it on the edge of the near slot. Backhanded shot by Matthews, covered up by Templeton. Oh, Matthews got it on the inner edge of that near circle and kept her back to the goal and just fired it through her feet, trying to trick Templeton. Templeton still somehow able to see it and hold on. 2-0, Michigan with the lead. 4:58 left to go here in this, the first. Face-off in the near face-off circle. Matthews in there against Mulligan. And tip back to forehand, top of the near circle. Forehand with a blast. That went off of a pair of skates of Mulligan as Bryce brings it back to her own blue line. Backhands it ahead, grabbed by Simmer at center ice. Here comes Simmer into the zone. Simmer outside the near circle. Drop pass back to Matthews. Matthews on the near circle into the slot. Puck wouldn't settle down as she goes in along the far wall. Matthews drops it back to Crone. Crone over to Bryce at the far point. Bryce feeds it back to Crone, top of the far circle. Crone has that chipped away. Battle for it. DeWeerd trying to grab it. Forehand knocking it away back and along the end boards. Simmer chasing it. That pulled by Schroeder and along the far boards. Sends it right back behind her own net. Mulligan sends it along the far boards. That held in at the far point by Bryce. Simmer has it in along the end boards underneath the far circle. Gets it back to Crone. Crone all the way back to Bryce at the far point. Bryce with the shot. And deflected, sticked into the near corner by Templeton. Gathered around, Matthews has it at the near point. Matthews trying to make a move, come onto the near circle. That poked away from her. She gets it back outside the near circle. Mulligan fires ahead to DeWeerd, held in by forehand. Matthews in the high slot, comes over top of the far circle. Matthews puts it into the slot. That deflected into the near corner. Pulled away by Simmer. Now here comes Mulligan back behind her own goal. Mulligan fires it over to Butka. Butka banks it off the near boards ahead to DeWeerd. That pulled away, held in by Gargiulo. Gargiulo, top of the far circle. She fires it back to Bryce at the blue line. Back to Gargiulo. That tipped in along the end boards. Schroeder rims it around the boards, trying to get to Letts, who tips it away. Battle for it on that far circle. Gathered in by Schroeder as she spins underneath the far circle with it. Schroeder goes back behind her own goal, in along the near boards. She banks it off the near boards. That'll go all the way down the ice, as that will be icing and head back into the Denver zone, or the Davenport zone. 3:08 left to go here in this, the first period. 2-0, Michigan with the lead. A goal by Evans at 14:12 and a goal by Simmer at 8:07 are the difference. Rubin in to take the faceoff versus Mulligan in the near faceoff circle. Proctor has it, moves it back to the blue line for Freeman. Now back on the near circle for Rubin. Shot saved by Templeton. Proctor backhands it out in front. That deflected away. Proctor underneath the near circle. Feeds it back to the blue line for Freeman. Freeman just sends it just to the left of the goal. Evans back behind into the near corner. Butka banks it in along the near boards. Levinson holds it in, the puck outside the near circle. Mulligan with it there. Mulligan trying to avoid pressure. Rubin takes it right back behind the goal. Rubin and Schroeder battling in the far corner. Rubin pulls it away. Rubin, top of the far circle. Rubin feeds it outside the near circle. Picked up by Proctor in the near corner. Proctor on the near circle, trying to come in. Backhanded shot that stick by Templeton into the far corner. Evans has it outside the far circle. She avoids some pressure by a trio of Panthers. Now pokes it away into the near corner where Mulligan has it. Mulligan back behind her own goal, gets it over to Butka underneath the near circle. Butka coming ahead with it. Butka feeds it to Letts. Letts cross ice pass. That deflects off of the far boards where Thomas picks it up. Thomas trying to avoid some pressure, gets it to Shorkey. Shorkey spins with it at the far point. Shorkey feeds it to the slot, trying to gather it in. Thomas, Schroeder got her stick in the way. That goes into the near corner. Thomas moves it back to McCarthy at the near point. McCarthy skates into the slot for a one-timer for Remelius, but the puck wouldn't settle down. Gaynor tries to knock it off the near boards to get it out of the zone. Held in. Thomas puts it into the slot. Wouldn't settle down for Remelius. Coming along the far boards, Anderson fires it all the way back to the Michigan blue line. Here comes Katie German. Katie German over on blue line, over center ice. Katie German gains the zone, top of the near circle. Katie German with the blast. As that comes to the far side, Templeton with the save into the far corner. Ramelius moves it back to the far point. Coming in with it, Shorkey. Now that loose. Picked up by Crone, back to the far point, trying to hold it in, but it slips into the neutral zone. McCarthy has it along the near boards. Back to Katie German at her own blue line. Feeding ahead to Matthews along the far boards. Now picked up top of the far circle. Here comes Crone with the shot in the slot. Deflected out in front. Backhanded shot by Crone. Templeton with the save. That off the side of the net. Templeton gets a glove on it. 48.5 seconds left to go here in the first. 2-0 Michigan with the lead over the Davenport Panthers. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle. It's not a place tracking shots on goal right now, but Michigan again dominating the shots on goal, peppering Templeton, who's done a fantastic job so far to keep as many out of the net as she can. Battle for it in along the near boards. Trying to pull it away is Anderson and Pippin. Simmer trying to knock it off the near boards as well as Matthews. Forehand comes into prime puck, poke that free. Still loose in along the near boards. Now Simmer comes away with it. Simmer trying to make a move. That knocked away by Plowman. Back outside the near circle, still trying to pull it away. Here comes Simmer on the near circle. Simmer feeds it through the slot. Couldn't quite get it to Matthews, who has it underneath the far circle. That pulled away. Gaynor gets it back into the neutral zone. The puck collected at center ice. Here comes forehand down the near boards. Forehand over center ice. Forehand gains the zone. Forehand on the near circle. Coming through the slot. Forehand backhands it out front. And she scores! With 1.9 seconds left to go. Before the first intermission, forehand comes to the far edge of the far circle, the inner corner of the far circle, backhands it, and that slips in. I'm not sure if it was tipped out in front. Beforehand absolutely had the initial shot. We will see with 1.9 seconds left to go. Davenport was hoping that the period would expire. Michigan able to get one more goal before that happens. Face off at center ice. Matthews versus Anderson. Simmer fires it deep, and that is the end of the first period. At the end of the first period, it is Michigan 3 and Davenport nothing. As we head to the first intermission, let's play a little bit of the victors, and we'll be right back with your intermission scoreboard report for the ACHA. You're watching Michigan Women's Hockey, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. At the first intermission, it is Michigan 3, Davenport nothing. It was a goal at 14-12. That was by Evans as Rubin on the assist. Michigan going up 1-0. Then at 8:07, it was Simmer from Crone and Matthews. And put Michigan up 2-0. And then with 1.9 seconds left to scramble a backhanded shot, tipped in by Matthews. Matthews with the goal, forehand with the assist on the initial shot. That's Michigan 3 and Davenport nothing, despite Templeton playing very solid between the pipes. Taking a look at your intermission scoreboard report, scores from the ACHA women's from yesterday. It was Colorado beating the Air Force Academy 12-1. The game versus Maryville and Lindenwood was postponed. It was a final as University of Iowa squeaked out a win 3-2 over Arizona State. It was Amherst, University of Massachusetts Amherst, beating University of Minnesota 4-1. We know about the Michigan score. Other games, it was a final between Adrian and University of Michigan Dearborn. That ended in a 3-3 tie final as, excuse me, that wasn't Adrian, that was Aquinas. Please forgive me. So University of Michigan Dearborn versus Aquinas. That is another tie by Aquinas. Aquinas has had a lot of ties. Michigan tying them, obviously scoreless tie early in a couple weekends ago, but they've had like 4 or 5 ties. Just, it's not something you see often. Sometimes you get a crazy season like that. It was Midwit beating Michigan State 8-0, shutting them out. The game was Rhode Island was supposed to host Denver. That was postponed. And Midland was supposed to host Miami University. That game was postponed as well. Let's take a look at some college hockey. As well, first, I hope I don't spoil anything for you, but let's see how that University of Michigan men's basketball game was going, something that we'll also cover in the Michigan scoreboard report at the second intermission. But taking a look, it is with 3:57 left to go in the second. Purdue, number 4 Purdue, has the 72-65 lead over Michigan. Michigan trying to hang in there, but a tough game. Also in the top 25, number 13 Michigan State just getting started against Rutgers. Rutgers has the 14-6 lead with 14:38 left to go in the first. Kansas, number 10 Kansas has the lead over number 8 Baylor, 23-7. That with 10:55 left to go in the first. Starting at 5 o'clock is number 7 Arizona hosting number 19 USC, USC. Finals from earlier in the day. Number 12, Villanova hosted number 17, Connecticut. Villanova with the 85-74 win. It was Illinois beating Indiana. Illinois ranked number 18th on the road at Assembly Hall. They won that one 74-57. It was number 22, Tennessee, on the road beating South Carolina 81-57. Auburn, number 1 Auburn eked out a 2-point win over Georgia, 74-72. It was a final number 14 Texas Tech beating West Virginia on the road. That was 60-53. Number 23 Texas hosted number 20 Iowa State. Texas on the winning end of that one, 63-41. And it was DePaul beating number 21 Xavier. Xavier playing at home. That was a 69-65 win by DePaul. Other games in the Big Ten going on. One other final that was in the top 25. Northwestern beat Nebraska 87-63. Taking a look at the Mid-American Conference, I know Eastern Michigan was in play. They got beaten by Kent State 90-71. That over at Kent State. And Ohio beat Western Michigan 77-64. Taking a look at college hockey. University of Michigan played on Wednesday versus the USA National Development Team. But taking a look at scores from yesterday in non-conference, it was Massachusetts doubling up Long Island 6-3, and Arizona State falling to Alaska Fairbanks 5-3. In Atlantic hockey, it was Niagara with a 1-goal win over Bentley 6-4. 5. It was Holy Cross beating Sacred Heart 1-0. Canisius doubled up Air Force 4-2. It was Mercyhurst shutting out Army 4-0, and AIC shutting out RIT 7-0. It was a final in overtime in the Big Ten. Ohio State beat Wisconsin 4-3. Notre Dame beat Penn State 7-2, and Minnesota beat Michigan State 4-2. In the CCHA, it was Minnesota State topping Bowling Green 3-1. Northern Michigan eked out a one-goal win over Bemidji State 2-1, and it was a final in a shootout. So 3-3 between Michigan Tech and St. Thomas. Michigan Tech wins 2-1 in 5 rounds out the shootout. That over at Medota Heights in Minnesota, where St. Thomas is. Rensselaer Polytechnic over in the ECAC. Princeton beat RIP 3-2. It was Quinnipiac beating Union 2-1. Final in overtime, St. Lawrence took out Yale 2-1. Clarkston shut out Brown 5-0. It was Colgate squeaking out a one-goal win over Cornell 3-2, and Harvard beat Dartmouth 3-1. In Hockey East, UMass Lowell beat Boston College 3-2. It was Merrimack topping University of New Hampshire 5-2. Northeastern with a one-goal win over Vermont 5-4. It was Connecticut with the 2-1 win over Providence, and Boston University shut out Maine 4-0. In the NCHC, it was North Dakota beating Omaha 4-1. Denver with an 8-5 win in a high-scoring game versus St. Cloud State. And Western Michigan put it on Colorado College 8-2. That is your intermission scoreboard report. Let's play a little bit more of the Michigan Marching Band. You're watching Michigan Women's Hockey, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. Michigan women with the 3-0 lead at the first intermission. They're just resurfacing the ice, just completing that as the Zamboni about to leave. I don't think they have another sweep to do. They got 20 minutes up on the clock already. Up. Looks like I'm wrong. It looks like they're taking one more sweep with the Zamboni, making sure everything's good. So like I said, they have 20 minutes up on the clock. Nice crowd here. We appreciate it for the last home game for the Wolverines. A number of folks right underneath us cheering on and excited to get to come here and watch this game. As let's play one more tune from the Michigan Marching Band. Let's play Victors one more time, and then we will head back as we'll come back for the second period. Swear I had seen the Zamboni go over earlier, but I was busy doing the scoreboard report and a couple things. They must not have resurfaced it earlier, so they're working on getting that done. So we have just a few more moments to go, so let's play a little bit more music, and then we will be right back with your second period buck drop. As Michigan skates out from the tunnel to the victors. Michigan coming out to our right. The officials have both of the nets back on their moorings. Davenport gathered around, and now they head out onto the ice. Michigan will be going from right to left in this second period. By the way, final score, Purdue beating University of Michigan men's basketball 82-76. Michigan gathered around their coaching staff. They're huddled up. 20 minutes up on the clock. Michigan 3. Davenport nothing, as it was a goal by Evans at 14-12. A goal by Simmer at 8:07. And at 1.9 seconds left to go, it was Matthews tipping in a forehand shot to make it Michigan 3. Davenport nothing. Ponitz skates down to the cage to our right, getting set up in the crease. Freeman, one of the three seniors on this team, playing the blue line with Levinson. As Evans comes out, Rubin to take the faceoff, and Proctor on the far wing. Actually, no, they just brought in a different three forwards. It's going to be Shorkey taking the faceoff. Crone to her left, and to her right is Simmer. Anderson taking the faceoff for Davenport. That back to Levinson, and along the near boards. Freeman sends it ahead. Here comes Crone, tipped away right at center ice. Now moved in along the near boards. Crone fires it back deep. That'll be a shot on goal as Templeton covers it up. That'll bring the faceoff into the near faceoff circle of the Davenport zone. 19:45 left to go here in the second. Face-off in the near face-off circle. Mulligan in to take the face-off. Anderson to her right, as that's Plowman to her left. Gargiulo in to take the face-off for Michigan. That battle into the near corner as Buka rims it all the way around the boards. Letts has it at the far point, held in by Levinson. Now Plowman coming down the far boards, trying to get out of the zone. That held in by Gargiulo. Gargiulo on the far circle, shot! That comes in along the near boards. Held in at the near point by Freeman. Freeman gets it back, now fires it outside the near circle as Buka fires it ahead. Here comes Mulligan. That chipped away by Levinson into the near corner. Levinson goes right back behind her goal. Levinson into the far corner, trying to battle Letts. That pulled by Eliasson. Battling, now coming off the far boards. That rimmed all the way into the near corner. Goldman picks it up, chips it back, is coming ahead with it. There's Freeman, sends it top of the near circle. It slips back into the neutral zone as Plowman moves it ahead, brought right back into the Michigan zone. Fired by Freeman into the neutral zone. Picking it up, Gargiulo coming down the far boards. Gargiulo gains the zone outside the far circle. Gargiulo goes down to a knee but pulls it back up. Gargiulo into the far corner, battling with Plowman. That puck outside the far circle, now coming ahead with it. Letts trying to get it out of the zone. That slips back. Proctor lost his stick. Letts heading ahead. Letts gains into the Michigan zone, top of the far circle. Letts with a shot. That one rims off the far boards. Held in by Buka, puts it back in along the end boards. Katie German has it back behind her own goal. Katie German coming down the far boards. Katie German over her own blue line, goes over center. Katie German gains the zone. Katie German. Drop pass, there's a shot, and that deflected into the near corner. Proctor trying to get it. Katie German has it top of the near circle. She goes into the high slot. Drop pass to the far point to Evans. Evans moves it back, top of the far circle, then back to Evans in the high slot. Shot! Ooh, that deflects just wide, cracking away at it as Templeton covering it up. Michigan thinks they have a goal. The official hasn't pointed yet. As Evans threw her hands up in the air, she thought that she had a second goal, but Templeton able to keep it out of the net. 17:53 left to go here in the second. 3-0, Michigan with the lead. Shorkey in to take the face-off versus Anderson in that far face-off circle to Templeton's left. Pulled back behind by Plowman into the far corner, tipped away by Shorkey. Plowman gets it back. Plowman and Shorkey battling in that far corner. Shorkey takes it away, gets it poked away by Anderson. Now Shorkey on that far circle. Again, Anderson feeds it ahead. Here comes Gaynor, who puts it into the neutral zone. That in along the near boards, into the Michigan zone. Picked up by Thomas. Thomas feeds it into the neutral zone as that comes in along the far boards. Plowman picks it up top of the far circle, rifles it the other direction. Gathered in, Gaynor has it right at the block end, puts it in along the near boards into the Michigan zone. That pulled away by Katie German, who goes back behind her own goal, tipped away by Pippin, trying to put it out in front. Shorkey knocked that down. Another centering attempt that pulled down by Katie German. Now coming ahead, Eliason Thomas over center ice. Thomas gains the zone. Thomas backhanded shot and steered away and covered up by Templeton. 16:58 left to go here in the second. Michigan up 3-0. Face-off in the near face-off circle. That is to Templeton's right. Matthews in to take the face-off. Crone right back behind her. Simmer to her right. Izzy German and forehand on the blue line. Matthews trying to get to it. That pulled down by DeWeerd. Now into the near corner. Pulled away by Crone. Crone has it tipped away. That puck loose along the near boards. Mulligan fires it into the neutral zone. Letts coming down the near boards over center ice. Letts gains the zone. Letts on the near circle, trying to angle her way in. That deflected into the far corner. Trying to pull it back. Forehand trying to separate it now. Crone chips it in along the far boards. Simmer backhands it back to Crone over her own blue line. Crone goes right over center ice. Crone gains the zone, puts it deep in along the end boards. Crone fights through traffic, backhands it out in front. Plowman knocks it down. Crone gets it back. Outside the near circle, Crone sends it in along the end boards for Simmer. Simmer trying to pull it away in the near corner, feeding it back to Crone. Crone back to Izzy German at the near point. Izzy German feeds it to Crone on the near circle. That lifted away, ricocheted off the near boards as Letts sends it all the way back into the Michigan zone. Gathered in by forehand as she goes in along the far boards, gets it back into the neutral zone. And Crone chips it, that gathered, and Bukka fires it right back into the neutral zone. Here comes Izzy German, who gains the zone. She avoids pressure by Mulligan as that knocked away, top of the far circle, but held in by Crone. And fired all the way in along the end boards, right back behind the Davenport goal. On the near circle, Wyson with a shot that just goes wide outside the far circle. Gargiulo with a shot that deflects off the side of the net. Top of the near circle, now that fired all the way back by Bukka into the Michigan zone. That was tipped, icing waved off. Forehand picks it up back behind her own goal. Trying to avoid pressure by Pippin. The puck loose on the near circle. Here comes Michigan with it. Gargiulo spins to avoid pressure by Anderson as she heads towards her blue line. He fires it all the way down. That gathered in as trying to get to it. Eliason poked away, and that puck comes all the way back. Gathered in by Bryce and along the near board. She goes over her own blue line. Feathers at the head, trying to get to Goldman. Goldman over to Gargiulo into the near corner. Gargiulo chases it, trying to get it away as that outside the near circle. Pippin with it. Pippin feeds it. That pulled away by Proctor outside the near circle. Now Schroeder trying to fire it ahead. Pippin on the near circle has that deflected in along the far boards where Evans picks it up. Evans trying to make a move. Gaynor trying to knock it away. Evans over to Rubin underneath the near circle. That puck wouldn't settle down for her. All the way back to Freeman at the blue line. In through the slot. That deflected as Templeton sticks it away in along the near boards. Rubin has it poked away. Bryce holds it in at the near point. Outside the near corner. Evans back to Bryce at the near point. That shot now knocked away by Templeton into the near corner. Proctor has it there. Proctor coming in. That shot blocker saved by Templeton. Outside the near circle, Evans with it. Evans trying to get into the slot. That poked away, lifted back to the blue line. Freeman holds it in and puts it to Proctor outside the far circle. Proctor fires it off of the end boards. That comes in along the near boards. Gathered in and fired deep by Anderson. That should be icing, and it will be. 13:49 left to go here in the second. 3-0. Michigan with the lead over Davenport. That faceoff's going to come to Templeton's right in the near faceoff circle in the Davenport zone. Anderson in to take the faceoff. Shorkey for Michigan. She has Thomas back behind her. Remelius to her right. And puck in along the near boards. Thomas battling for it. Pulls it off into the near circle. Bukka trying to fire it out. That slips back into the neutral zone. Gathered in by Levinson at her own blue line. Feeding it over to McCarthy and back to Levinson in the high slot of her own zone. Levinson circles trying to avoid pressure by Pippin. Over on the far side of McCarthy. Back over to Thomas on the near boards. Thomas has it poked away by Bukka into the near corner. Pulled back by Levinson. Now lifted outside the far circle where Gaynor has it. Gaynor trying to knock it down. Now Shorkey chips it, but not out. Gathered in. Romelli is trying to feed it away. And lifted through the slot. All the way outside the near circle. Thomas chases it down. Backhands it ahead. And here comes Shorkey over on blue line. Knocked away by Buka, but picked up by Levinson. Gathering it. Pippin backhands it deep into the Michigan zone. Thomas has it in along the near boards, over on blue line. Thomas over center ice. Thomas gains his own in the high slot. Thomas with a shot. Plowman got in the way and steers it into the far corner. Thomas's centering attempt, that gathered by Izzy German in the high slot. Puck wouldn't settle down for her, and now it's back out into the neutral zone. Mulligan coming down the near boards, gains the Michigan zone, spins with it to protect the puck back to the near point. Mulligan, the top of the near circle, now goes outside the near circle. Into the near corner it goes, and pulled back away. Trying to come ahead with it. Here comes Katie German over on blue line. Katie German ricochets it off the far boards onto the far circle. Katie German with the shot. Oh, Templeton got a piece of it to steer it just wide. Crone back behind, feeds it into the far corner for Matthews. Matthews outside the far circle, comes to the far point. Matthews drop pass over to Izzy German, feeds it onto the near circle for Katie German with the shot. Templeton with the save. 12:03 left to go here in the second period. Michigan with the 3-0 lead, as they are making lots of popcorn or something right below us, because I can just smell the popcorn coming up, and that's it's not fair. That's making us hungry up here, but that's okay. I suppose we can't DoorDash popcorn from the concourse. So face-off in the near face-off circle. That rimmed all the way around the boards. Forehand stops at top of the far circle, feeds it into the far corner, trying to get it to Eliason. Picked up. Plowman has it back behind her own goal, puts it into the near corner for Pippin. Pippin, cross-ice pass. That gathered by Letts, knocked away by Gargiulo. Gargiulo has it. She puts it in along the far boards of the Davenport zone. Trying to hold it in. The puck loose at the far point. Now slips to the high slot. Backhanded deep by Goldman into the far corner. Plowman picks it up from there. Gargiulo trying to knock it away. Coming ahead with it. Banked away. Plowman rims it all the way around the boards. Trying to hold it in. Bryce. Top of the near circle, trying to pull that away. Now comes outside the near circle as Pippin trying to get it. That backhanded deep by Bryce. Fed by Plowman over to Mulligan, coming down the far boards over on blue line. Mulligan right over the block M. Gains the Michigan zone in the high slot. Mulligan has it poked away outside the far circle. Rubin trying to knock it away from her. Letts gets it in the slot, but wouldn't settle down. Here comes Evans the other direction. Evans feeds it over. Rubin gains the zone on the near circle. Rubin with the shot, saved by Templeton. The puck underneath the far circle. With it, Proctor, top of the far circle. That drifts back to the blue line, slips back into the neutral zone. Michigan will have to reset. Levinson drifts back to her own blue line and along the near boards. Levinson feeds it ahead. Chipped by Rubin, but fired right back into the neutral zone by Davenport. Schroeder gains his own, top of the far circle. Freeman driving her wide. Freeman tips it into the far corner, trying to pull that away. Here comes Eliason. Ahead to Evans. Evans over center ice. Headed along the near boards. Intercepted. Coming ahead is Buka. Buka, top of the near circle. Buka. Wide angle shot saved by Ponnet. Picked up by Thomas coming down the near boards. Thomas over blue line. Thomas trying to feed it ahead. That knocked down as Pippin got her stick in the way. Thomas gets it back, but then it's put into the near corner. Thomas goes back behind the goal from the near side to the far side. The puck loose on the far circle. Thomas gets it back and feeds it to the blue line to Katie German. Thomas putting it out in front, that right through the crease. That puck outside the near circle now, held in by Levinson at the near point. She takes a blast. That tipped by Shorkey, but comes outside the far circle to Thomas. Thomas moves it back to Katie German at the near far point. Back over to Thomas, top of the far circle. The puck slips back, and Levinson holds it in. Her shot just goes wide to the near side. Shorkey picks it up outside the far circle. Add over to Crone. Crone moved off of the puck. Bouncing puck held in by Shorkey at the far point. Shorkey sends it back in along the end boards. And slips right back behind Templeton as Romelli is trying to get it underneath the near circle. She feeds it to Crone with the shot. Saved by Templeton. 9:12 left to go here in the second. Michigan 3, Davenport nothing. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle as Buka comes over and gives Templeton a pat on the back, says she knows she's trying awful hard. And Michigan just continues to pull a barrage on net. Matthews in to take the face-off. Mulligan on the other side. That comes back in along the near boards, trying to grab it. That gathered by Mulligan into the near corner of her own zone. Mulligan back behind her own goal, comes in along the far boards, trying to get it out. That slips all the way back into the Michigan end. Picked up by Katie German at her own slot. Katie German over her own blue line with speed. Katie German gains the zone in the high slot. Katie German with the shot. Templeton with the save. She lost track of it for a second. She saved it in spin. She was expecting to go to her right, but she caught it before Michigan could get on top of it and covered it up. 8:47 left to go here in the second. High atop Yost Ice Arena, looking down on Red Berenson Rink. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Gargiulo in to take the face-off versus Mulligan. That puck into the far corner, rimmed all the way around outside the far circle. Eliason picks it up there. Eliason makes a move, comes into the near corner, protected puck with her body. Eliason gets it over to Gargiulo underneath the far circle, back to the far point to forehand. Forehand with a shot that goes off the side of the net and pulled all the way around. Izzy German stops it at the near point, feeds it outside the near circle. Chasing it to get it back underneath. Plowman has it in the far corner. Plowman sends it along the far boards. Held in by forehand at the far point. That deflects into the near corner of the Davenport zone. Trying to pull it away. The puck at the near point. Held in by Izzy German. She puts a rocket blast. That's sticked away by Templeton outside the near circle. DeWeird trying to pull it off of the near boards. Now coming away with it. Buka feeds it ahead to Letts, who gets it into the neutral zone ahead to Mulligan. Knocked away from Mulligan. Battle for it right at center ice, right at the block M. Mulligan gathers it, comes down the far boards, and rifles it deep into the Michigan zone. And pulled away by forehand, trying to feed it ahead. Letts gets it and fires it right back in deep. Izzy German picks it up back behind her own goal, underneath the near circle, feeding it into the neutral zone. Plowman picks it up right at center ice. Feeds it in along the far boards to Pippin, who backhands it ahead. Gathered in by Gaynor right at her own blue line. Gaynor has that knocked away. The puck comes to the near point. Chasing it. Goldman fires it deep. That off the end boards into the far corner. Pippin and Rubin battling in that far corner. Pulled away by Proctor. Proctor puts it underneath. Fires it into the high slot. Nobody home, and it slips all the way back into the Michigan end. As Poneth stops it on the near circle. Picked up by forehand. She ricochets that ahead. Went off of a skate. Here comes forehand over center ice. Forehand gains his own. Backhands it off of that far board. Pippin picks it up. Ricochets it forward. Coming in along, the puck gathered in by Gaynor. Touch pass going ahead to Anderson. Bryce beats her to it on the far circle of the Michigan zone. Goes in front of her net and comes ahead. Gets it over to Evans. Evans loses an edge as that comes in along the near boards in the neutral zone. Mulligan cross ice pass over to Pippin along the far boards. Pippin feeds ahead, trying to get to Gaynor. Wouldn't settle down for that fed ahead. Here comes Evans with it. Evans gains the zone on the near circle. Evans with a shot. Saved by Templeton, bouncing puck into the far corner. And knocked away. Shorkey trying to get to it. That lifted back into the neutral zone. Grabbed by Bryce and along the near boards, who brings it right back in. Michigan able to touch up. Bryce with a shot. Blocker save back behind the goal. Knocked over to Remelius on the near circle. Remelius feeds it into the slot for Thomas. That poked away as Pippin got her stick in the way, and that lifted all the way down to Letts. Letts into the Michigan zone. Spins with it top of the far circle. Letts trying to feed it back. Held in by Pippin. Shot deflected into the near corner by Bryce. Now coming back behind, Letts has it knocked away by Shorkey, coming ahead with it. The puck bouncing down, trying to pull it away, loose at the near point. Coming ahead with it, Shorkey feeds it ahead. Shorkey over to Thomas. Thomas gains the zone. Thomas has that whipped away back into the neutral zone. Bryce coming down the far board, sends it deep in along the end boards as Michigan goes for a line change. Gathered in by Buka. There's Thomas, who fires a centering pass. Picked up outside the far circle, coming ahead with it, knocked away as McCarthy trying to get to it. That launched all the way down the ice. That'll be icing. 5:18 left to go here in the second. Michigan 3 and the Panthers nothing. There has yet, it's been a very clean game. No penalties as of yet. Face off in the near face off circle. That is to Templeton's right. Matthews in to take the face-off. Simmer and Crone out there. High slot. That grab by McCarthy. Back over to Crone. Crone top of the near circle. Fires it back underneath. Back behind the goal to Matthews. Matthews into the far corner. Trying to avoid pressure by Pippen. Matthews has Letts trying to poke it away from her as well. Puck loose on the far circle. Matthews comes away with a backhanded shot. That off of the side of the net. Battle for it in along the end boards. Matthews pulls it back behind. She has that poked away. Mulligan trying to separate her from the puck. Underneath the far circle, that's sent ahead, held in by McCarthy. The puck bouncing now, lifted back, gathered in. Letts fires a skying puck back into the neutral zone. Levinson makes a move to avoid pressure right at center ice. Levinson gets it to Crone. Crone has it poked away. Michigan has to touch back up as that puck comes all the way back into the Michigan zone. Picked up by Katie German in along the near board. She feeds it ahead, trying to get to Matthews, and just out of her reach, and that will be icing. Back into the Michigan zone it goes. 4:23 left to go here in the second. 3-0. Michigan with the lead over the Davenport Panthers. And the next game for the Maize and Blue will be over at Penn State Friday and Saturday next weekend. We will have those games for you if you don't make the trip to Happy Valley. If you do, wave hi to us. Face-off in the near face-off circle. That pulled away. Back at the near point. Plowman holds it in. Outside the near circle, bouncing puck. Schroeder with a shot that just goes wide. Simmer trying to chase it down in along the far board. She chips it out into the neutral zone. Here comes Matthews with the puck top of the far circle, but there's a whistle. And they're going to call a trip or illegal body check, it looks like. At least that was the symbol I saw the official make. Michigan penalty. So Matthews goes in. That at 4:06, and that's my fault. I mentioned that we hadn't had a penalty, and guess what happens? There's a penalty. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Michigan shorthanded for the next 2 minutes. Davenport talking things over quickly with the coaching staff. Timeout Davenport. We'll take it with them and play a little bit of the victors. You're watching Michigan Women's Hockey, and it's brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. They're announcing the penalty. Interference, the call. So Matthews goes in for interference. Michigan takes the first penalty of the game at 4:06 left to go here in the second period. Michigan up 3-0 as Davenport took a timeout to talk about everything and try and draw up something to try and sneak the puck past Poneth. Michigan love to kill off this penalty, maybe even get a shorthanded goal and increase their advantage. Face-off is going to be in the far face-off circle. Rubin out there to take the face-off. Katie German to her right. To her left is Izzy German and Evans sitting in the slot. Mulligan in to take the face-off. Butka and Plowman to her right. Letts back there as well. Letts grabs it, shot, and that's saved by Poneth. In along the near boards. Evans rockets it all the way down. That off the back of the Davenport net. Sending ahead with it, intercepted by Rubin. Rubin coming into the slot. Her shot just goes wide. She has it into the far corner. Rubin trying to get it back over to Evans, keeping it into the zone. Rubin has it pinned against the boards into the far corner. Mulligan comes over to try and separate it. Evans trying to knock it down. Battle for it outside the far circle into the far corner. Rubin still trying to get it. Now that knocked away. Mulligan had it. Evans pulls it back. Evans puts it into the near corner. 1 minute, 22 seconds gone from the power play for Davenport. Michigan with excellent special teams so far. Bringing it ahead is sent ahead. Pippen moves it over to Mulligan. Mulligan has it poked away. An excellent job by Shorkey. That fired back in by Evans. That'll go in along the end board. Shorkey back there trying to make it difficult for him to leave the zone. Mulligan sends it back to Letts. Letts right back behind her own goal. 55 seconds left to go in the Davenport power play. Letts drops it back for Mulligan. Mulligan underneath the far circle, feeds it to Letts. Letts coming ahead with it, ricochets it off the near boards. That gathered, and Izzy German fires it right back in. Mulligan, top of the near circle, feeds it into the neutral zone. Katie German has it there, and they'll call offsides as Shorkey couldn't quite get out of the zone. Katie German tried to hold up, but the puck wouldn't cooperate. It leads to an offsides. 36 seconds left to go in the Davenport power play. Michigan up 3-0, 2:42 left to go here in the third. As Gargiulo in to take the face off, and they'll drop it again as there was a whistle. Can't quite hear what the official said, but they'll drop it again. Anderson versus Gargiulo in that far face-off circle. Gathered in, sent ahead by DeWeird, pulled away by Gargiulo. Gargiulo right in front of the Davenport bench. Drops it back to forehand. Forehand over to Bryce in along the near boards. Bryce feeds it ahead. Now chasing it back deep. Here comes Eliason back in along the end boards. Eliason has it pinned into the near corner. Eliason poked away. Gaynord has it outside the near circle. 9 seconds left to go in the Davenport power play. Back behind. Letts has it back behind her own cage. Drop back. And get it over to Plowman. Plowman gathers it into the near corner. Michigan back to full strength as Matthews comes out of the penalty box as Buka puts it in along the near boards. Plowman has it, fires it into neutral zone. That gathered in by Forehand. Forehand banks it off the far boards, and that's sent deep by Matthews. Buka ricochets it off the near boards. Now Bryce trying to send it back deep. As Plowman has it on the near circle, sends it back behind. Buka back behind her own goal. Over to Plowman in the near corner. Back over to Buka in the far corner. Buka trying to get it out of the zone, held in by Freeman at the far point. Chasing it. Buka has it. Firing it ahead. Here comes Plowman over her own blue line. Rolls on edge right in front of the Michigan bench. Wouldn't settle down. Poked away by Simmer. Now that back into the zone. Pulled away by Matthews. Matthews on the far circle. Matthews with a shot. Save. Pad save by Templeton. Simmer sends it back to the far point for Freeman. Freeman, that has it deflected into the near corner. Chasing it, Matthews has it outside the near circle. Matthews, top of the near circle. Matthews through the slot. Now in the far circle, backhanded shot that got knocked down by Mulligan. Matthews picks it back up. Under 1 minute left to go. Michigan 3. 1 minute left to go in the second. Michigan 3, Davenport nothing. Simmer with the shot and Templeton with the save. Oh, bouncing puck in the low slot, and Simmer got a stick on it, whipped it in, but Templeton able to see it and cover it up. Not an easy save to make with a point-blank shot. 49.2 seconds left to go here in the second. Michigan holding on to the 3-0 lead here in the second. Shorkey in to take the faceoff versus Mulligan in the far faceoff circle. And shot right off as Thomas just missed a little to the far side. Battle for it. That at the near point. Trying to hold it in is Romelius. Romelius had it. That knocked away. Romelius goes into the near corner with it. Romelius back behind the goal. That pulled away by Mulligan coming down the far boards. Mulligan feeds it over to Letts over her own blue line. Poked away from her by Shorkey as Romelius comes in trying to get it in along the near boards. That fired all the way back deep on edge into the Michigan end. 19 seconds left to go before 19 seconds left to go here in the second. Now down to 13 seconds as Michigan battling for it in along the far boards. Mulligan has it over her own blue line. Mulligan comes over the big block at center ice. Trying to knock it away there is Levinson. Mulligan has it. And poke checked away by Freeman. And that will do it. Mulligan loses an edge, but she pops up. She's okay. And that will do it for the second period. Michigan 3, Davenport nothing. One thing of note in the second is it was an interference call to Matthews. That at 4:06, but Michigan able to kill off the penalty. As we will, let's quickly play the victors. Then we will come back and we'll do our Michigan scoreboard report. And then play, of course, I Can't Turn You Loose. You are watching Michigan Women's Hockey, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. Michigan with the 3-0 lead heading into the second intermission. Here at the second intermission, it is the University of Michigan 3 and Davenport nothing. Taking a look as I pull up, and let's refresh it really quickly as we take a look at the composite schedule off of mgoblue.com. As come on, there we go. Okay, happening as that comes back. Two items to mention that happened yesterday as women's gymnastics was at Rutgers, and Michigan came in first of three with a score of 198.525. Michigan wrestling was at number 8, Nebraska. Michigan wrestling won that one 20-13. That was on the Big Ten Network. Today, couple things going. There's two non-scoring activities as women's track and field and men's track and field are at the Mayo Invitational over at Notre Dame. Michigan women's tennis played at number 2 North Carolina. That was a 5-2 loss, North Carolina winning. We talked to the Michigan men's basketball versus Purdue. They were at number 4 Purdue. Purdue pulled away on that one. Just a 6-point win, though, 82-76. Michigan men's lacrosse starts off their season. Just tipped off or faced off, but that one is over at Beverly Hills, Michigan, as they ended up playing at a high school field over there. As I'm not sure what's going on at the Michigan lacrosse field, but that was versus Bellarmine. Tomorrow, if you're looking for some action, if you didn't want to watch the Pro Bowl and just wanted to check out some things, men's tennis is at number 19 Harvard. There is video that can be found off of the MGO Blue website. And then Michigan women's basketball, who has been absolutely amazing. If you haven't checked out this team, check it out. The ladies are just playing fantastic. Great teamwork. They are playing versus number 21 Iowa. That's going to be at the Chrysler Center at 6:30. So come on down, cheer them on. That should be, there's a link for live video. I don't see, it is going to be on the Big Ten Network as well if you don't want to head to the court. So that's a 6:30 game. We'll step away as it is the second intermission, so you know what time it is. It is time for I Can't Turn You Loose.
Well, good afternoon and welcome once again to the Michigan Amphitheater. You know, so much of the music we hear today is this pre-programmed electronic disco. You never get a chance to hear master bluesmen practicing their craft. By the year 2006, the music now known as the blues will exist only in the classical record department of your local public library. And so, this afternoon, while we still can, let us welcome from Ann Arbor, Michigan, Gary Lewis and his blues band. Gary Lewis and his blues band.
as we had to cut temptation short because we're coming back just a little bit before a countdown. So 20 minutes now up on the clock. As it is Shorkey in to take the face-off versus Anderson. The puck in along the far boards. Freeman fires ahead to Shorkey. Shorkey gains his own, fires it deep. That in along the end boards, picked up by Mulligan, back behind her own goal. Trying to knock it down. Crone trying to peel it off of the end boards. Puck into the near corner, pulling that away. Ricochet ahead to Letts. Letts has that poked away by Levinson. Levinson able to hold it in as Simmer has it into the near corner. Simmer going back behind the goal, that knocked away from her, but Crone gets it back into the far corner. Pinned against the boards by Mulligan, coming in. Buka pulls it away. Buka underneath the far circle, lifts it all the way down as that slips back into the Michigan zone. Levinson races to get it. She picks it up back behind her own goal, going from the far side to the near side. Now fires it in along the far boards. That lifted into the neutral zone for Simmer, poked away. So that comes back in along the near boards of the Michigan zone. Loose in along the near boards. That brought in by Anderson. Anderson in the high slot had it knocked away, but Letts gets it back. The puck sitting loose, pulled away by Mulligan. Mulligan comes over on the near circle. Mulligan driven wide by Levinson. Good defensive recovery by Levinson, pulling away. That rimmed all the way around the boards. Gathered in by Plowman at the far point. Loose as Pippin fires it down. Bouncing puck picked up by Mulligan outside the far circle. Trying to knock it down. Freeman as that comes into the high slot. That shot just went wide. Picked up by Crone coming down the far boards. Crone coming over, firing it ahead. That grab by Pippin at her own blue line. Michigan able to get a line change. Fired back by Proctor deep into the zone. Rubin picks it up back behind the goal. Comes underneath the near circle as that was, centering attempt trying to get to Proctor. And Proctor just couldn't get her stick on it. That fired ball the way down by DeWeerd. Ricocheted off the end boards. But that is going to be icing, and it'll head right back into the Davenport zone. 18:07 left to go here in the third period. Michigan with the 3-0 lead. 3 goals in the first. Only 1 penalty in the second. Face-off right center ice. Rubin in to take the face-off. That comes in along the near boards. Proctor sends it back to McCarthy at the near point. McCarthy's shot. That knocked down by Letts. As Proctor sends it back to McCarthy's shot. That stick back in along the end boards. Trying to peel it away. Rubin into the near corner. Coming away with it. Evans gets it over to Proctor. Proctor with the shot. Off of the front. Knocked off of Rubin's stick. Evans back behind. Wrap around attempt. Wouldn't go. Underneath the far circle there is a high sticking goal. 17:40 left to go. Here in the third. Michigan with a 3-0 lead over Davenport as Michigan will be on the power play. As high stick called, going into the box is Plowman. As that was at 17:40. So Michigan with the power play. Face off on the far face-off circle. Back to the far point, holding it in is Levinson, over onto the near circle, pulling it away. Here comes Crone. Crone's shot that got deflected by Gaynor and launched all the way down the ice. Stopped, moved over and along the near boards. Here comes Levinson over her own blue line. Levinson comes over center ice, feeds it over to Crone. Crone gains the zone, top of the near circle. Crone on the near circle. Comes back, feeds it back to Levinson at the near point. Back over to Crone on the near circle. Crone looking for a place to go. Now over onto the far circle. Simmer trying to get to it. She was trying to launch it, and the puck wouldn't settle down for her. Freeman has it at the blue line. There's a one-timer by Levinson. Pad save by Templeton. Matthews has it underneath the near circle. Matthews comes outside the near circle. Now feeds it back to Levinson, back to Matthews. Matthews outside the near circle, back to Levinson at the blue line. Levinson with the blast, that tipped out in front, but Templeton still got a piece of it. Matthews sends it in along the far board. Simmer has it there. Simmer trying to avoid pressure by Anderson. Simmer puts it over to Crone back behind, then Simmer gets it back outside the far circle. Over to Freeman at the far point. Over at the near point to Levinson. Matthews tipped it, but couldn't get enough on it. Back behind, Simmer has it behind the goal. Sends it back, top of the near circle. Gathering in, Levinson at the near point. Levinson skates into the near circle. Levinson with a shot that went off of a skate. Simmer chases it down into the near corner. Back over to Matthews outside the near circle. Back over to Levinson at the near point. Levinson over to Matthews on the near circle. Matthews skates into the near corner. Matthews back behind the goal. Comes over underneath the far circle. Matthews moves it back to Freeman at the far point. Freeman over to Levinson with the one-timer. That deflected out in front. Evans tried to get a stick on it. Evans comes back to the near point. Evans goes high slot. Evans, top of the far circle. Evans with a shot out in front. Saved by Templeton. Davenport back to full strength. Michigan 3, Davenport nothing. 15:33 left to go. Here in the third, bringing it ahead. Mulligan gains his own. Mulligan, top of the far circle. Shot, and that one just goes wide into the near corner. Anderson trying to keep it. That's fired over to Shorkey, over on blue line. Shorkey over center ice. Shorkey comes down the far board, sends it deep as that puck skitters in along the end boards. Gathered in by Buka and Gargiulo battling into the far corner. Lifted back. Underneath the near circle, Buka feeding it all the way into the neutral zone. Katie German gathers it up at center ice, feeds it over to Thomas at the far point. Thomas has that poke checked away, race for it. Here comes Mulligan on a breakaway. Mulligan into the slot, comes in as that's knocked away with a good poke check by Ponith. A whistle, and they're going to call interference. That at 14:48. Is they're going to put Katie German in for interference. Oh, slash. So a slashing call on Katie German. She was trying to get the puck and got the player instead. Michigan will be shorthanded. This is Davenport with their second power play of the game. Face off to Ponit's left in the far face-off circle. 14:48 left on the clock here in the third. Michigan by a score of 3-0. Rubin in to take the faceoff in that far faceoff circle. Forehand out there as well as Evans and Izzy German. Izzy German pulls it back behind her own goal, comes into the far corner. Izzy German trying to avoid pressure. Izzy German fires it all the way down the ice. Templeton actually has to stop it. Shot on goal as Templeton puts it right back behind her own goal. Chasing down, Evans puts it into the near corner before she's put to the ice. Picked back up and coming Letts. Letts coming down the near boards over her own blue line. Letts over center ice. Letts has that knocked away. Forehand fires it right back into the neutral zone. Picked up by Letts. Letts has it right at the block M now. Drops it back to Plowman. Plowman fires it in along the far boards to Pippin. Pippin fires it back deep into the Michigan zone. Izzy German chases it back behind her own goal. Going from the far side to the near side. She sends it along the far boards. Rubin has it. Rubin pokes it ahead. Here comes Evans. Evans into the zone. Onto the near circle. Poke check by Pippin that knocks it away. In along the near board. Schroeder has it into the near corner. Schroeder gets it off of Pippin's skate, comes over along the far boards. 1 minute left to go in the Davenport power play. Trying to get it to Anderson. That just off of Anderson's stick. Somehow that wasn't icing, and now come back the other way and fired ahead. Shorkey chases it. Shorkey has it on the near circle. Centering attempt. That goes all the way through the slot, picked up along the far boards. Buka banks it off the near boards. That goes all the way back. Freeman picks it up back behind her own goal. Freeman. That deflected off of a player right through the slot, coming top of the near circle, moving it is Bryce. Bryce comes over center ice. Bryce trying to get it in along the near boards, brings it into the zone. Here comes Shorkey in the high slot. Shorkey on the far circle. Shorkey into the far corner. 17 seconds left to go in the Davenport power play. Bryce puts it back into the far corner. Mulligan has it there. Mulligan coming over the far circle. Mulligan coming ahead over her own blue line, trying to avoid pressure by Crone. Mulligan over center ice, gains the zone. Mulligan into the slot. Mulligan with a shot. That's saved by Ponith. Michigan back to full strength. 12:44 left to go here in the third. Michigan up by a score of 3-0. That gathered in. Here comes Michigan over center ice. Matthews has it into the zone. Matthews loses the handle. That poked away. Picked up by Anderson and along the near boards. That's ricocheted and skitters into the Michigan zone. Gathered in. McCarthy sends it ahead. Tipped away from Simmer by Plowman. Back into the Michigan zone where McCarthy fires it all the way around the boards over to Levinson and along the far boards. Gathered in into center ice, intercepted by Schroeder. Now Simmer sends it along the near boards, right back to the Davenport blue line. Plowman fires it over on the far side to Buka, then gets it back. Plowman feeds it into the neutral zone for Letts, coming down the near boards. Letts gains the zone. Letts, and top of the near circle. Shot that went off of Levinson's leg. Levinson tips it into the far corner. Letts has it there. Letts and Levinson battling in along the near boards. And puck lifted back and now fired out into the neutral zone. Buka go back into her own zone. 11:42 left to go here in the third. Letts right at center ice. Michigan by a score of 3-0. And fired ahead. The puck loose right at the near point. Simmer feeds it into the neutral zone. Intercepted by Plowman at her own blue line. That banked ahead. Grabbed by Levinson. Levinson fires it deep. And it goes in along the end boards of the Davenport zone. Rimmed all the way around the boards, back to the far point for Anderson. Anderson feeds it through the neutral zone. Gathered in by Forehand at her own blue line. Forehand ricochets ahead, starting the Michigan attack. Intercepted by Anderson. Davenport banks it off the far boards. Coming in, here comes Izzy German, who puts it back deep, back behind the Davenport goal. Stick back behind by Templeton. That puck comes all the way back to the far point. Izzy German holding it in. That knocked away. Coming the other direction is the Weird. Gathered in. And it's Eliason who fires it ahead. Gargiulo has it at the near point, trying to hold on to the puck, avoiding pressure by Schroeder. Gargiulo, top of the near circle, comes high slot. Gargiulo fires it to Izzy German, top of the far circle. Izzy German, shot out in front. That deflected back into the near corner. Eliason trying to peel it out of the near corner. Eliason outside the near circle, forehand trying to hold it in. That's swept by Plowman all the way back to the Michigan blue line. Izzy German fires it along the far boards. Evans brings it over her own blue line. Evans knocks it off the near boards and onto the near circle of the Davenport zone, then quickly sent the other way. Izzy German feeds it ahead. Here comes Proctor gaining the zone, top of the near circle. Proctor with the wrister, saved by Templeton. Evans there for the rebound, but that just on the far side. Shot, and Michigan scores! Proctor puts it in as she grabs it back behind, comes over between the far circle and the crease and fires it in. Michigan takes the 4-0 lead. As we'll see what the assists are, but Proctor puts it in at 10:02. She had 2 goals in yesterday's game versus these Davenport Panthers. Puck right at center ice, that tipped back, trying to gather it in is Gaynor as Thomas chases it in along the far boards. That gathered by Shorkey, then knocked right back. Freeman picks it up top of the far circle, intercepted. Here comes Mulligan as that's knocked away. Proctor from Evans as they call the penalty as German goes into the box. As that was a breakaway, intercepted. Mulligan going back deep. And so Michigan will be shorthanded at 9:46. It wasn't a penalty until deep into the second period, and now we've had 4 since then. Let's in to take the face-off versus Shorkey in the near face-off circle. And pulled away by Crone. She backhands it all the way down the ice. That'll be stopped by Templeton on the near circle. Crone coming to try and make it difficult. Malu steers it back for Mulligan back behind her own goal. Mulligan coming down the far boards. Mulligan cuts towards the slot, now moves it, ricochets it off the near board, sends it ahead. Pickham brings it in, slashing against German is the penalty. As that puck comes all the way back. Crone chasing it, Crone and Letts in a foot race as Crone trying to get it out in front. Crone with the shot, saved by Templeton. Shorkey has it on the near circle. Shorkey with the shot, Templeton with the save. Crone waiting for a rebound. No rebound put out there, and Plowman is down on her knees right in the slot. Hopefully she's all right. Letts and Gaynor came over to take a look at her as she's looked like she's getting up now. 1 minute, 22 seconds left to go in the Davenport power play as Plowman gets up, and big round of applause from the fans as they're happy to see her okay. 9:08 left to go here in the third. Michigan up 4-0 now, thanks to the Proctor goal. Face-off in the near face-off circle. That's going to be to Templeton's left. Simmer, Matthews, McCarthy, and Izzy German out there for Michigan on the penalty kill. The puck and along the near boards. Letts gathers it in. Letts feeds it over to Gaynor. Gaynor over the blue line. Gaynor over center ice. Gaynor fires it in along the far boards into the far corner. Plowman and Izzy German battling. That stick back behind as it comes into the slot. Steered in along the near boards by McCarthy. McCarthy chips it into the near corner. Izzy German pulls it away. She goes back behind her own goal. Izzy German feeds it along the far boards. Matthews trying to get it out of the zone. That held in by Letts. Letts puts it right back behind the Michigan goal. Now McCarthy sends it in along the far boards. Katie German lifts it all the way, or Izzy German, lifts it all the way down the ice. That's stopped by Templeton. Picked up by Butka. Matthews trying to make it difficult. Here comes Butka coming ahead with it. Butka comes over her own blue line, coming down the far boards. Feeds ahead to Weird. Comes along. That banked off the near boards. Right back into the Davenport zone. Mulligan has it knocked away. Anderson picks it up at the near point of her own zone. Trying to knock it away is Simmer. That puck loose. Gathered in by Mulligan in along the near boards. 15 seconds left to go in the Michigan penalty kill. Mulligan gains the zone, top of the near circle. Mulligan into the slot. Poked away by Simmer. Coming the other direction. That backhanded deep by Matthews. 4 seconds left to go. Matthews chases it into the near corner. Matthews picks it up, that into the far corner. Michigan back to full strength. 7:40 left to go here in the third. Michigan up by a score of 4-0. Letts has it on the far circle. That sticked ahead into the neutral zone. Forehand has it at center ice. Feeds it along the far boards to Freeman. Freeman trying to get it out ahead. That intercepted by Anderson, who sends it into the Michigan zone. Gathered in by Proctor, top of the far circle. Proctor gets it ahead. Here comes Rubin. Rubin on the near circle. Rubin feeds it over to Evans, and she scores! Beautiful job by Rubin coming down on the near circle. Saw Evans skating in on the far side. Just chipped it over through the crease. Evans put it in. That's Evans' second goal of the game, and Michigan is up 5-0. Michigan matches their score from yesterday. That puck in along the near boards. Gathered in. Buka fires it over. That's sent ahead by Plowman deep into the Michigan zone. Again, Evans with the goal, Rubin with the assist as Remelius fires it. Shorkey trying to get it, top of the far circle. Plowman trying to knock it away. That back to Thomas. Thomas, top of the far circle. She takes a shot. Saved by Templeton. That on the near circle. Thomas trying to knock it away. Remelius with the shot. That went off of Plowman's skate into the near corner. 6:39 left to go here in the third. Michigan 5, Davenport nothing, as Levinson brings it back into the zone. Levinson goes high slot. Shot! Oh boy, it almost went bar down. That was right at the corner of the crossbar and the post. So saved by the post. Levinson has it back at her own blue line. Feeds it ahead. That ricochets off the far boards. Into the far corner. Buka has it. Buka fires it ahead, trying to get to Anderson. That intercepted by Gargiulo. Gargiulo trying to get to it. The puck loose. Now brought into the Panthers zone. Picking it up. Goldman has it poked away. Coming in along the near boards. That lifted all the way back. Gathered in by Gargiulo right at center ice. Gargiulo comes ahead. Gargiulo top of the far circle. Gargiulo into the far corner. Moves it back. Top of the far circle. Trying to get it over to Goldman. Now that held in by Katie German over on the far side. Shot that deflects into the near corner. Trying to pull it away. Mulligan trying to get to it. McCarthy with a shot. That's sticked away by Templeton in along the far boards. Lifted back by DeWeird. Coming over. There's a shot that went off of a skate by Mulligan. Then fired deep by Katie German. Gathered in. Plowman sends it over to Buka in along the near boards. That lifted back into the neutral zone. 5:15 left to go here in the third. Michigan with the 5-0 lead. Simmer comes in, moves it over into the slot. Trying to feed it ahead for Crone. Now Matthews with a shot. That one covered up by Templeton. 5 minutes even left to go here in the third. 5-0. Michigan with the lead here at Yost Ice Arena. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Matthews in to take the face-off. Simmer to her right. Forehand back behind her. Is that loose? Back underneath the far circle. Chip. Matthews picks it up back behind the goal. Matthews moves it back to forehand at the near point. Forehand with the shot. That went off of Mulligan's skates. Lifted all the way back. Trying to grab it. Here comes Schroeder. Schroeder trying to get ahead. Izzy German steers her wide as that puck goes into the far corner. Excellent defensive play, stopping a breakaway. Coming ahead, Matthews coming down the far boards. Matthews feeds it ahead. Simmer races to try and get to it. Plowman intercepts it first and knocks it the other direction. Forehand fires it deep. Michigan has to touch up on delayed offsides as that puck into the far corner. Gathered in there by Pippen. Pippen rims it all the way around the boards. That at the near point, held in by forehand. Forehand makes a move outside the near circle. Mulligan trying to pull that puck away. Coming in now, Crone trying to peel it away. The puck into the near corner. Pippen and Crone battling there. Now Mulligan underneath the near circle has that poked away by Crone. That lifted back. Anderson trying to get it out of the zone. Forehand has her against the boards. And pulled away by Crone as she fires that deep in along the end boards right back behind the Davenport goal. Chasing it back into the far corner. Here comes a shot by Proctor, saved by Templeton. Gathered in by Pippen in along the far boards. That knocked down by Rubin. Now forehand with a shot from the blue line. That tipped out in front, but Templeton still able to grab it. Proctor with another shot. The puck loose and Templeton covers it up. 3:36 left to go here in the third. 5-0. Michigan with the lead. Michigan with some very solid opportunities there. Templeton able to stand on her head to keep it out of the net. This Davenport team continues to play hard, continues to battle every shift. Rubin in to take the face-off versus Mulligan. That puck on the far circle lifted into the far corner. Gathered in by Letts. Letts coming down the far boards. Now backhands it over to Mulligan. Mulligan brings it over her own blue line. Intercepted right at her own blue line. Fed ahead by Bryce. Loose in along the far boards. Evans has it poked away. That into the far corner of the Michigan zone where Freeman has it. Freeman goes right back behind her own goal. Stops there. Comes over along the near side. Or our far side. Freeman banks it ahead. Intercepted by Buka. Top of the far circle. Now coming in Mulligan into the high slot. Mulligan feeds it out. That stick by Poneth into the far corner. Letts trying to battle Rubin. Now pulled away by Bryce into the far corner. And all the way out, held in by Buka into the far corner. Lifted, here it comes. Evans puts it in along the near boards. Gathered up, here comes Freeman over her own blue line. Freeman gains the zone. Freeman outside the near circle as Pippen has her tied up. That comes right back behind the Davenport goal. All the way back to the far point. Bryce holds it in there. Bryce fires it back deep. That picked up. Shorkey puts it into the far corner. Thomas trying to pull that away. That knocked down. Romelius has it outside the far circle. That to Bryce with a shot. That stick by Templeton into the near corner. Comes back. Shorkey, top of the far circle. Moves it to Levinson. Levinson with the blast. That knocked down by Mulligan. The puck back to the far point. Bryce fires it. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left to go. Battling and covering it up. Templeton is Shorkey had a chance as the puck came just outside of the far side of the crease. Michigan up 5-0 with 2:07 left to go here in the third. This will be 4 wins if Michigan can hold on, put together. They had the tie by Aquinas in the weekend at Traverse City, then tied a win versus Michigan State and Grand Valley State. Beat Davenport yesterday and looking to keep the winning ways going here today. They have to hold on for 2 minutes, 7 seconds left with a 5-0 lead. McCarthy moves it over into the far point. That shot by Levinson knocked down, picked up and fired ahead by Davenport. That should be icing. Oh, icing waved off, and that moved in along the far boards. Trying to pick it up. Gargiulo goes back behind her own goal. Gargiulo coming down the near boards, trying to get it ahead to Eliason. That puck lifted. Gargiulo comes over center ice. Gargiulo, top of the near circle. Gargiulo with the wrister, and she scores! Gargiulo with a wicked wrister from the top of the near circle. Catches the far side and puts it in. Michigan 6, Davenport nothing with 1 minute 38 seconds left to go here in the third. Face off at center ice. Shorkey in to take the face off. Michigan with 3 goals in the first, 3 goals in the third. They have a 6-0 lead. That puck comes back, fed ahead and along the far boards. Poneth gets the assist. Wonderful always to see a goalie get a point. That pulled back as Katie German has it around blue line. Feeds ahead to Simmer. That knocked down. Battle for it, gathered around, coming ahead. Plowman fires it back deep into the Michigan end. That slips right back behind the Michigan goal. Freeman chases it into the far corner, trying to avoid Gainer. Gathering it in. Here comes Katie German. Ahead to Simmer. Simmer tips it over to Shorkey. Shorkey feeds it ahead. 1 minute left to go. Simmer gains the zone. Moves it over to Crone. Crone with a shot. Saved by Templeton. Steered by Mulligan. Back behind her own goal. Mulligan underneath the far circle. Drops it back to Buka. Back over to Mulligan outside the far circle. Mulligan on that far circle. Now heads in front of her net. Comes over on the near side and fires it back. That knocked down by Proctor. Proctor brings it into the zone. Proctor trying to steer it into the near corner. Battle for it on that near circle. And that lifted by Gainer ahead to Mulligan. Mulligan trying to avoid pressure by Evans, fires it now. Freeman gathers it in and fires it ahead to Proctor. 22 seconds left to go. Proctor with the shot that went off of his skate, covered up by Templeton. 17.9 seconds left to go. Well, our next broadcast, if you're interested in listening to some high school basketball, we will have the Pioneer men's JV team at 5:30 and the Pioneer men's varsity team at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, live from the main gym at Pioneer High School. Again, we will have the Friday game from Penn State for these Michigan Wolverines, and the Saturday game, those will be our next Michigan women's broadcast. That puck goes into the near corner, 14 seconds left. Michigan up 6-0. Gathered in at the near point, and that slips back into the neutral zone. Katie German gathers it in, fires it over to Freeman on the far side. Crone brings it into the zone, one of 3 wonderful seniors we celebrated today, and that will do it. Michigan wins. Again, we want to say congratulations on their very last home game as a Michigan Wolverine to our seniors. That is Julia Freeman, Sam Crone, and Mary Claire Shorkey. As Michigan a winner, 6-0. Your action in the third was a penalty, high stick to Plowman at 17:40. It was a Michigan penalty, a slash to Katie German at 14:48. Michigan scored a goal as that was Proctor from Evans at 10:02. Michigan penalty to Katie German on a slash at 9:48. Michigan scored as Evans put it in from Rubin at 7:12. And Michigan scored lastly with Gargiulo putting it in from Poneth. Best tradition of sports just completed as the post-game handshake. Everyone coming by and giving fist bumps to the officials as well. For my camera person, Christina Wiseman, my name is Mark Wiseman. Thank you so much for cheering on either of these two teams wherever you are at. Like I said, we will be back live with this team Friday evening. Thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful night.